All right, the graduation portion of the show is about to begin. Are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, are you ready?
Oh, yeah. Ready.
All right. Okay, our next comic has white hair, but inside he's a lot older. Let's welcome Tom O'Connor.
Totally preoccupied. I have to bury my mother-in-law this weekend. I didn't kill her. You know, that's the stereotype, right? We hate our mothers-in-law. But no, mine was great. And actually, I'm not going to Florida to bury her, but we are going there to spread her ashes this weekend. My father-in-law's ashes, too. Him I did kill. But in 1941, Winifred Brennan married Robert Smith, and long before the invention of Bennifer and Kimye, they became Winnie and Bobby. They were married for 73 years to each other. 73 years. Think about how long that is. I was at a friend's 25th wedding anniversary. I said, that's pretty good, but take what you've done and double it. Then go serve a 20-year felony prison sentence, and you'd still not quite be there. Let's see. So they had 73 great years together, right? But like the washer and dryer that fail in quick succession, Bobby died first, and exactly 3 months later, Winnie died. But they had a great life. Winnie, you know, that's an old-fashioned name, right? Do we have any Winifreds here? Pretty unlikely. The only two Winnies I've ever known were my mother-in-law and that hot chick from the Wonder Years, Winnie Cooper. And she was fictional. So with the passing of Winnie went the passing of a name, right? I'm just sorry I won't be around in 80 years when the last Britney dies. Growing up, I never really wanted to have kids, right? I didn't have the happiest childhood, but I didn't have the unhappiest childhood either. My father died when I was 10. My mother was an alcoholic, but at least we had cable. Okay, so as I got older, though, then I wanted to have kids, I realized, you know, I'm missing something. Having kids is a way to leave a legacy, right? And since having kids wasn't in the cards for me, I decided, well, let me try to come up with a catchphrase. You know, something like, where's the beef? Or, I pity the fool. I mean, someone wrote these, that's their legacy, and they're collecting royalties. So in college, I had one that I thought had legs, right? Whenever I needed to fart in a group setting, and I wanted to alert the people to the impending stench, I would say to them, foul air warning for the immediate vicinity. And while it's, you know, short and clear and self-explanatory, it did catch on with my college group, but it never really made it into the vernacular. So a couple of Thanksgivings ago, I woke up and I said, oh, it's Thanksgiving. What am I thankful for? And I'm laying in bed looking up and I says, all of a sudden I let out this tremendous fart. It must have been building up overnight, right? And my wife says, oh, good one, hon. Let's pull up the covers and make a Dutch oven. Maybe we could even cook the turkey in here. So immediately I'm thankful for two things, right? First, my wife's a good sport. And she doesn't squelch my, you know, my frequent need to fart. And second, I'm really thankful that my sphincter's doing its job. So let's see. Nothing classes up a fart joke like bringing a little Latin to it. So I'll tell you, it's your sphincter. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you know there's more than 60 sphincters in the human body? Right? That's a lot. I think the only one anyone knows or cares about is, you know, it's at the end of the line, right? It's the star. So, it's just like the movie system, right? There's 60 people in the movie, but all you care about is the star. So the star sphincter is, in Latin, your sphincter ani externus, which is the external anal sphincter, right? So what I came up with was, whenever my sphincter was doing its job, working predictably and reliably, I would say, Thanks, Sphincter Ani externus. I think it's super catchy, but it never did hit the radio. So I guess as far as catchphrases, perhaps that was more like a silent but deadly. Shakespeare. So, I came from an Irish Catholic family, right? 6 kids. That's a 6-pack, right? Irish had 6-packs. So my mom never wanted us to drink too much soda. And so she would go out and she'd buy a 6-pack of Pepsi bottles in a little, like a 6-pack of beer container. And we were each to get one. Well, now, I'm like a sugar junkie, right? So I would immediately guzzle mine down. And then I'd start pestering my siblings, some of whom are here tonight. But I'd start pestering them like, can I have your soda? Can I have your soda? And they'd rarely, sometimes they'd say okay, but not nearly often enough. So in proof of the fact that there are sugar gods, one night I figured out that as long as there was one soda left in the 6-pack container, each of my siblings could think that that was theirs. Right? In fact, they would think that that was theirs because they just weren't drinking them fast enough. So immediately I started, and I'm drinking everybody's, but I would not drink the last one, the 6th one, the magical 6th Pepsi. I would not drink until enough time had passed and my mom was getting ready to go to the store again. Then I'd casually mention to her that so-and-so had drank the last Pepsi, Mom, could you buy some more? This plot went undetected for years. So, it's strange to think I may have peaked at age 15 when I came up with this idea, because for the rest of my life since, I'm looking for ways to sextuple my productivity instantly, and I haven't come up with any others. All right. Have you guys ever seen up on Route 80 in Patterson? There's a big vintage car towing company called Horseless Carriage. The side of their building's like a billboard, right? And my wife and I were on a romantic getaway weekend. We drove by, and so to fill the time in the car, we started talking. We said, well, horseless carriage, that's a little odd, right? I mean, they're sort of everything else-less, too. They're tigerless carriages, they're sugarless carriages, they're whiskey-less carriages. Well, except for the Irish. And further on, later in the trip, we realized, you know what, pretty much everything else is horseless too. So we get to our vacation destination, right, and we're going for a walk. And we had a horseless ice cream cone with money we got from the horseless ATM. We even wandered over to the basketball court and watched a couple of kids play a game of horseless horse. So, later that night, my wife sidled up to me and says, hey, what would you think about some horseless sex? I said, I'm fine with it, but I'm not sure Trigger'd be real happy with it. I turned 60 recently. I turned 62 more recently. When I was young, I never wanted to be the guy the old man shaking his fist saying, hey, you kids, get off my lawn. I never wanted to be that guy. So I bought a condom. It's not easy getting older, right? But it's clear that I am. But sometimes good things still happen to old people. Look at Phil Mickelson. A couple weeks ago, he won his 2nd PGA championship, right? Oldest player ever to do so. So that's a pretty good deal, right? The course, the tournament was played on a beautiful course on coastal South Carolina. The last time coastal South Carolina saw so many rounds fired, it was at Fort Sumter in 1861. That was Phil's first year on the tour. So Phil won the PGA, and for that you get the Wanamaker Trophy, right? And that was donated over 100 years ago by the Wanamaker department store family. So it's a nice trophy, but it's a little bit strange. His wife wasn't there to help celebrate with him. This is true, right? So usually if a player's leading on Saturday and they're a big name, their wives will fly in so they could be there for a celebration. Now, it may have been that Phil didn't want to insist she come. Maybe it's just he didn't want to make her. I mentioned it was a family affair for Tim. I'm sorry, for Phil Mickelson, right? His brother Tim has been his caddy the last couple of years. So when you're someone's caddy, they call that being on the bag. Right? In Phil's case, it's a colostomy bag, but hey, the guy's old. So Phil's sister is also, she's part of the team. She's sort of like his publicist. She has a Twitter account with a whole lot of followers, right? So after the tournament, I go to her Twitter site, and I see that she's also a PGA professional, and she's smoking hot, right? She's so hot, I want to make her. All right, that's my time. I'm Henny Youngman. Be sure and try the horseless veal, and don't forget to tip your waitresses.